just
speak the same thing once again.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this about importance of diagnosis.
Yes, yes. So importance of diagnosis is perhaps at the apex. And for that, we use different apparatus like stethoscope, radiology, pathology reports, and 101 things. Of course, I'm not conversant with all those apparatus. But then we all know that with those apparatus, we are trying to pinpoint the problem. And as the days go on, the dependence on the apparatus is increasing, which will naturally increase the time in treatment and cost of the treatment. And as Mahatma Gandhi in India, he said that India, particularly India in 1947, cannot afford allopathy. Perhaps I see that thing coming true in today's atmosphere. Many people cannot afford all those things. Now, as far as Ayurveda is concerned, Ayurveda is using all those reports, all those technology, and everything that allopathy uses. In addition to that, allopathy has one specialized branch. Ayurveda has a specialized branch. In all three big books are written by Charak, Sushrut and Vagbhat. These are the three veteran writers of Ayurveda, and they are called as Vriddhatrayi, the old three. All of them have a chapter, small chapter, of course, comparatively very small chapter, on Doot Shaareer. That means the diagnosis caused through the agents and the representatives. Representative comes to you when you cannot reach the doctor, or when the doctor cannot reach the patient. This can happen. Now, suppose Dr. Malinda is expert on something else and the final word in the world. Then suppose I want to consult her, it is not possible for me to go to her. And Saurabh Bhai also can mediate, but then I will not be in a position to reach in time. So what I can do, I can request one of you to meet Dr. Malinda and present my case. Now, Ayurveda has a specialized branch on this. And I have seen, I will come to that point, that with the use of this technique, we can come to the correct diagnosis, say maybe 90% correct, as the real patient has thousands of miles away, or who is not present right now before us, before the doctor. Now, this is a time-tested branch of knowledge, but it's not in vogue mainly because people have lost the faith in Ayurveda to a large extent, and in India it has become a secondary profession. Allopathy has taken over, maybe for right reasons, because it is quick, it works wonders, the surgery is simply mind-blowing. But Ayurveda, as far as this portion is concerned, as far as this chapter is concerned, needs to be explored in the interests of the humanity. Why I'm saying this? That it can save time and it can save cost for the patients. And at the same time, for the expert doctors of allopathy, it can be as a second opinion. It can be an additional tool. And till such time as you have obtained the laboratory results, this can be used for the treatment, for the line of treatment, it can be used. Now, I say that I read some time back about the theories of Albert Einstein. He said he was a new determinist, if I'm not mistaken. He believed that all the laws of physics are unknown to us. I'm taking a cue from that. And I say that there are 101 principles outside the understanding of allopathy, which the nature speaks. Nature doesn't speak English, Hebrew, or Sanskrit, or whatever language. Nature has its own language. As we believe that mathematics is a language, we have to believe that there is a language that the nature speaks. And in India, we have so many mythological and historical evidence that the person who understands, who deciphers the language of nature is in a better position to help the humanity, help the environment, and so many things. Now, this particular branch of knowledge in Ayurveda has a cross-reference with astrology. Now, astrology, kindly don't mistake me. In India, astrology is not horoscopy. In India, astrology has 8 branches, of which only one is known to people across the world, which is horoscopy. We draw a chart and there are 12 houses in that, and then we calculate something and then we predict. But that is not the only, that's the last thing. Before that, there are 7 branches of knowledge which deals with the language of the nature. Now we have one story of a king called Nala. He was a person who used to travel on the road and he used to understand the language of trees, language of birds, different noises, different voices, different frequencies, and he used to infer something. It is about the inferential qualities of the human mind. It is an extension of our faculties that we are dealing with here in this context today of Ayurveda. So I say that when we apply those things, when we try to understand what the nature is speaking around us, when the question is presented to us, when the agent has come to us, when the representative of the patient has approached us with a specific request to cure him, then there is an answer. We say in India, we people who follow this tantra, we say that the question and the answer are no different. They are just the different sides of the coin. They are together. They need to be deciphered and to be used in the interest of the humanity. That's why I'm inclined to present my before you. Now I say that these chapters are not popular, are not in vogue in the Ayurvedic colleges, because these are the subjects which on the face of it you will say it is non-scientific, and nobody, simply by washing it away, we are avoiding this because it's difficult. I say it is because it is difficult. We are calling it inscientific, and it is convenient for us to call it inscientific and put it aside. But people like me who do not know Ayurveda in complete details have this handy, because we have studied so many other peripheral subjects. And I happen to have met at least 2 veterans who could decipher the things. I'll tell 2 examples of it, because I know that I have to meet the time limit of 20 minutes. I'll give 2 examples. One, Vaidya, when I met him somewhere in the beginning of February of some year, about 30 years back, and at that time he was examining a young lady, and just by feeling the pulse of that lady, he said that, my daughter, please go and bring me sweets. You are going to deliver a baby boy in September someday. And I knew that, I remembered that, and I checked it up. I pursued that matter, and that lady had delivered a baby boy, I think, on 18th September. A woman who is pregnant of, say, less than 20 days or less than 1 month or so, because of such techniques in Ayurveda, it is possible. I have seen it. I am a witness of it. Otherwise, I would not have told you. Another case is Dr. Upadhyay. He was in Rajkot again, and I was seated in his dispensary, in his clinic. He used to charge only 2 rupees. The 2 rupees is a very small amount in India at that time also, and that was voluntary for the people to give or not. But then so many people lined up there. I was sitting next to him just to observe the techniques that he applied. And one young lady, young girl, say maybe about 10 years or less than 10 years, very poor girl, she came with another poor lady, saying that she had come from a neighboring village where her grandmother was very, very sick and they did not have even money to bring her here in the town for the treatment. Then this gentleman, Dr. Upadhyay, who was about 90 years at that time, he felt the pulse. He saw that, I don't know what he did, but then he could describe the disease of that old woman till the previous evening. He said that she had eaten the brinjals, and it was a surprise for most of us that how he can say that she had eaten the vegetables, which particular vegetable she had eaten previous evening. But these are the things I have seen it, then I have learned it from him, that how he could do it. Then he, of course, it is, I'm not a practitioner, I did not have that much time also, but then whatever little he said and whatever still little I learned from him, I practiced it for about 30 years now. And I know that it can be taught. When I can learn it, the people like you who are much more qualified, much more intelligent, much more exposed to the industry can certainly learn it. I am fully confident, because there is a small hill in Gujarat in India. It is called as Wakaner. Now, Wakaner has a Jain temple, and there we had a small spiritual type of a camp, and my guru, he called me there to engage the participants for 3 hours. About 20 people were there, all good people at meditation and all. And of that, about 6 to 10 people, they could, after a teaching, after a discussion, after a sharing session of 3 hours, they could learn this art. I had hidden one small coin at some place about 100 feet away, and of those people, the 6, they could locate that there was a coin, some metal, some round shaped metal, which was lying in some particular direction. What I mean to say here is that this art can be learned. This art does exist. Simply because we do not know, it is not good to put it aside or brush it aside and forget it, because today we are living in 2021, and we do carry certain responsibilities on our shoulders to unravel these secrets in the interest of the human beings who are going to come in the next centuries. If not you and me, who will do it? You tell. Today, I am very confident, though I am not a professional Vaidya, professional doctor, but then I don't see anybody who can deal with this subject to any extent. I know that I can teach it. One more thing I want to submit this stage, that in Ayurveda, in Indian astrology, they say that when you take up a challenge, your results will go wrong. In a way, this means that suppose I accept this challenge, the audio clips from you, it clearly is stated that it is going wrong, but that no, I'm going to take a risk with my friends, because I'm not going to encash it. There is no monetary aspect behind that, and I think this is the only way that I can try it. So
say it again. Sorry, we lost.
I very politely
we lost a connection.
Okay.
Can you come closer and speak? Maybe it will be better.
You're telling me?
Yes.
Am I audible now?
Yes. When you are a little bit far away, sometimes the signal gets choppy.
Okay. So I was saying that it is in the interest of the future generations that we explore this area also and make this available to them. As I said, that this itself is going to be a very big challenge. When the professional doctors have patients in front of them, they have the liberty to examine them. They have the pathological and 101 reports with them, and then they make diagnosis. Here is a branch of knowledge which requires one representative before the doctor and the diagnosis is efforted. Here I am requesting that your audio clip simply giving me your code number for our cross references, the gender and the age of the patient, and I will put those principles into practice and make the diagnosis available to you as a secondary or tertiary opinion. Now, this why we should do it? As I said, it is in the interest of the future generations. We are not going to benefit from this. The experiment, I request that we may conduct an experiment of about 500 samples so that we have sufficient data. And the procedure I will now tell within 2 minutes, that I request the participating doctor to send the code number of the patient. There's a doctor XY and patient number 001. Like that you speak, Dr. Dr. Melinda Tony. So Dr. MT, the sample one number will be 001. You write it down in pencil in your patient as a prescription sheet for cross-reference. Then you please tell me the age of the patient and the gender of the patient. Now that clip can be sent to RTG, to Dr. Pandey, who are going to be the monitors of this experiment, and to me. So 3. In reply, I will reply on a written sheet, which will indicate the seat of the discomfort or reason of the discomfort or disease, whether it is curable, whether it is not curable, and some other things which strike me at that time. And I will write it from the point of view of, say, not more than 1 page, that it is going to be a kind of handy document for you to tally with your pathological reports, other examination reports. Now, after some time, whenever it is convenient to you and Dr. Pandey and Dr. Aarti, you can compare it and arrive at some conclusion, whether it is going in the right direction or whether it is not going in the right direction. If it is going in the right direction, we will pray God that let it be passed on to the next generation.